Frosty the Froggy.
Hi friends, subscribe, share, and click the bell so you won't miss any magical stories with Frosty the Froggy.
In a quiet forest stood a tiny wooden cottage. Inside lived a poor woodcutter, his wife, and their 2 children, Hansel and Gretel. Times were hard, and food was often scarce. One evening, Hansel and Gretel heard their parents whispering sadly. The stepmother said, "We cannot feed the children." Gretel held Hansel's hand tightly, and Hansel promised he would protect his little sister. That night, Hansel stepped outside. The moonlight made white stones on the ground sparkle like stars. Cleverly, he filled his pockets. "These stones will guide us home," he whispered gently to Gretel. The next morning, their parents led Hansel and Gretel deep into the forest. Birds chirped above, trees stretched tall. Hansel secretly dropped the shining stones along the path, while Gretel quietly followed. After some time, the parents left. Gretel trembled, but Hansel smiled kindly. "Do not worry, we will find our way." The children sat together beneath a tall tree, waiting for nightfall. When the moon rose, the white stones glowed like tiny lanterns. Hansel and Gretel followed them step by step. Soon, the little cottage appeared, and their father welcomed them with tears of joy. But hunger soon returned. The stepmother said sharply, "Back to the forest." Hansel wanted to gather stones again, but the door was locked. He quietly crumbled bread into his pocket instead. As they walked, Hansel dropped crumbs of bread behind him. Gretel whispered, "Will it work?" Hansel nodded hopefully. But crows circled above, and the forest seemed darker than before. This time, when the parents left, Hansel and Gretel looked back. The crumbs had vanished, eaten by birds. Gretel's eyes filled with tears. Hansel hugged her close, whispering, "Stay strong." From the shadows, Frosty the Froggy hopped near, his red and cream scarf glowing in the moonlight. "Don't be afraid," he said warmly. "I will stay with you until we find hope." For days, Hansel, Gretel, and Frosty wandered through the forest. They grew tired and hungry. Then, suddenly, a sweet smell drifted through the trees, filling the air with sugar and spice. Before them stood a magical cottage, walls of gingerbread, windows of sugar, and a candy roof. Hansel's eyes widened. Gretel whispered in wonder, "Can we taste just a little?" The children nibbled gently at the sugary windows. Frosty licked frosting with delight. For a moment, worries melted away in the sweetness. Laughter rang softly in the dreamy forest air. Suddenly, the door creaked open. A bent old woman stepped outside. "Poor children, come in," she said sweetly. Hansel and Gretel entered. Frosty frowned, sensing something unfriendly behind her smile. The woman was a witch. She shoved Hansel into a cage and made Gretel cook. Gretel's heart pounded. Frosty whispered bravely, "Stay clever, little sister." We will find a way. The witch ordered Gretel to check the oven. Gretel pretended not to understand. "Please show me," she said. The witch leaned in to look. Quick as lightning, Gretel pushed her inside. The witch shrieked, but the heavy oven door closed. Silence filled the cottage. Gretel rushed to free Hansel. They hugged tightly, tears of joy shining in their tired eyes. Together, Hansel, Gretel, and Frosty searched the witch's cottage. They found baskets of gold, jewels, and food, enough to fill their home with warmth and happiness for many days. Hand in hand, Hansel, Gretel, and Frosty left the dark forest. Birds now sang sweetly, guiding them. Step by step, the path grew brighter until their father's cottage appeared ahead. Their father wept with joy as he hugged them. Frosty smiled warmly, his scarf glowing like sunshine. That night, under twinkling stars, Hansel and Gretel knew they were safe and loved.
Hi friends, subscribe, share, and click the bell so you won't miss any magical stories with Frosty the Froggy.